Amazon just announced they're hiring 1,000 people by August. Are you one of them? Is Davenport a place you want to be or not? Let's discuss that. First off, if you just got hired by Amazon, you're probably wondering where you want to live. You can see right behind me, possibly, that's the brand new Amazon facility, and it sits right on Division. One thing that's really kind of nice about Division is it has straight access into Davenport, but it also has great access into Eldridge. Now, those are two great spots to live. What are the big differences? Well, Davenport obviously is the largest city of the Quad Cities, sitting at about 100,000 people. So it's gonna be your typical major city in Iowa. And if that's what you're looking for, that may be what you need. Eldridge, on the other hand, is not too far away. And that's more of a small town vibe. They have North Scott Schools up there. It's a smaller conglomerate of schools, and it is well regarded as one of the better schools in the area. Things that Eldridge don't really offer as much is some of the conveniences that Davenport has. So in Davenport, you're gonna be close to a lot of shopping that's going on there. Eldridge, you have like one grocery store and everything else is pretty much away from there. But if you don't want to live in Eldridge or Davenport, you still have some options because luckily for you, the Quad Cities is actually fairly compact and easy to get around. You have Bettendorf, you have Rock Island, you have Moline. Even if you're in Moline, you know, depending on what side, you're still probably only about a 25-minute drive away from this facility. So it's fairly accessible no matter where you decide to live. But Division, like I said, is a street that really connects Davenport and Eldridge together, so it might be a good choice on either one of those. Now, this is what I do every single day, is make videos telling people what it's like to live in Davenport in the Quad Cities. But what I actually do for my full-time job is I am a realtor. So I answer questions like this all the time. So if you have questions about where you should live in Davenport, this is why people call me. So my number's popping up down below. I am the one that answers those. So send me questions that you may have. I'd love to help you out. Now, speaking of getting around, so what is the major thoroughfares that Davenport and the Quad Cities have that you may want to know about? Well, obviously, Division is one of those, but Davenport's really boxed in by I-80, I-74, and I-280. Those are the major interstate systems that really kind of encompass the Quad Cities as a whole. And as far as in Davenport, Division is one. You have, let me think through, you have Jersey Ridge, Eastern Avenue, you have Marquette, Fairmont, Division, Northwest Boulevard. Those are some major thoroughfares that you'll want to know when moving to Davenport. Those all go north and south. One I forgot, a major one, I can't believe I forgot this one, is Brady Street, Welcome Way, and Harrison. Those are the ones that go into downtown. They're one ways, so kind of the same street, just opposite sides. So that's another major one that you'll want to know. And then going east and west, you have things like 53rd Street, Kimberly Road, Locust, River Drive, a few other smaller ones in there. All of them are super accessible, easy to understand once you get in here. So traveling around Davenport, it's fairly easy and it's fairly uncongested. We're not a major city, so we still have some traffic jams, but overall, it's not too bad depending on the time of day. Now, as you already know, I am a real estate agent here, and if you're moving here, you're probably thinking about purchasing a home. So what's it like purchasing a home here in Davenport, Eldridge, Bettendorf, all of the area? Well, gonna be completely honest with you, it's a bit tough being a buyer right now. The competition is super high and the inventory is super low. You know, what really has happened is that people were buying like crazy when the interest rates were so low, those 2s and 3%. People got locked into those homes, and now they really don't want to sell. We had low inventory before that happened, and after that, people don't want us to resell. They refinance to those 2s or 3s. So people are just really kind of staying put because they have no reason to leave, and that means the inventory is continuing to be low. Not all is lost though as a buyer. There are proven strategies to actually get in homes. We just got 3 people under contract this week, so it is absolutely possible. But say you're moving here and purchasing isn't really your goal. Well, maybe renting is. So what can you see as far as renting goes? Well, in Davenport, typical 3-bedroom house is probably gonna run you between $1,200 and $1,800 to $2,000, depending on the quality and where it's located. So that's what you can expect from the rental game. I don't do rentals, but I have a lot of resources for you. If you do need a rental, let me know, send me an email. I'll send you some of those resources as well, but you won't work with me directly. Now, when you move here and you got hired by Amazon back here, you're not gonna wanna work all the time. So what can you do for entertainment? Well, I'll tell you some of my favorite things. Here in Davenport, there are 37 parks. And those parks are pretty much all over the city. Some of my favorites are Vanderveer, Sunderbrook. Those are two of my favorites. I love Vanderveer for being right in town. It's really got a conservatory there, a lot of beautiful plants, rows of trees, just really, really cool to be right in the center of town. And then Sunderbrook is kind of on the outskirts of town and you get more of that country feel, trails, those sorts of things. So both of those are great options as far as just getting outdoors, entertaining yourself. But if you're willing to spend a little money, well, the River Center, anything they have in the River Center is usually worth going to. I just went to the event that's going down in the River Center right now, and that's the Van Gogh Experience. And if you haven't seen this, it is absolutely amazing. They have projectors all over every single wall and make the floor move. In fact, it gets a little bit, dizzying because it feels like the floor is moving and you're not moving. So if you do go to the Van Gogh Experience, don't fall over, because I felt like I was gonna fall over. So just something to think about. But the River Center in general just hosts a ton of different events that are just usually a lot of fun. So always be on the lookout for what the River Center is doing if you're looking for entertainment options. Then other options outdoors is the Quad City River Bandits, which is right there in downtown as well. Fairly cheap entertainment. If you go with the kiddos, they have the big Ferris wheels. They have the, what do you call those things with the horses? The carousels, I think they're called. Don't quote me on that. Let me know if I got that wrong down in the comments. But again, that's a great family entertainment option when moving to Davenport. Another one of my favorites that I really like, because I like craft beer, and craft beer in the Quad Cities is kind of exploding. There's one just about on every corner, it seems like. But they celebrate that with festivals too. So just recently they announced that they're having Village Hops, which is in the village of East Davenport. And they have so many craft breweries coming in from the local area, but also from the state of Iowa, from the state of Illinois. So just a really cool event. If you are into craft brewing, this is the event for you. And then if you're down in the Village, East Village, another great option down there is the Channel Cat. And if you don't know what the Channel Cat is, it is a water taxi that I think has 3 or 4 stops. It starts in the village, it goes across to Moline, goes across to Moline again on a different part, comes back into Iowa on the Bettendorf side, and then comes all the way back up to the village. And it's really pretty inexpensive. It gives you a chance to get out on the river if you don't own your own boat. So that's a great option. I really enjoy all of these events. So get out, enjoy those things, because you're gonna be moving here, working at Amazon, and you don't wanna be working all the time. So check those things out. Another thing that you want to think about if you're moving to Davenport is the cost of living. It's one of the main drivers of why people move to Iowa in general, but Davenport is really no exception. And that's, that cost of living is fairly low. I just paid, I think, $3.30 for a gallon of gas, which is pretty decent. If you look at the California prices or the Illinois prices, which is right across the river, they're quite a bit higher than that. So, that's one savings right there. Grocery costs, the food costs here in Davenport are actually below the national average. So that's another savings. And then energy costs are fairly affordable as well. My 3-bedroom house, I pay about $150 per month, depending on the season. Winter months are gonna be a lot more expensive because natural gas just is generally gonna be a little more expensive. But overall average is about $150. I remember only one time where it was super expensive. The natural gas prices went super high for some reason. It was a super cold winter. I had to pay about $400 that month, which was just a shocker to me. But that was just a one-off. Typically, it's gonna be about $150 per month. And then internet providers here in Davenport is, you have a couple, 3 that I know about. And that's Mediacom, that is Metronet, and that is CenturyLink. I don't like CenturyLink. That's my own personal opinion. I had a bad experience with them. They told me I was getting 1 speed and ended up they couldn't even provide that speed to me, and I was paying for that speed, so I wasn't too happy about that. MediaCom I've had before as well. They're okay. You know, they are a little pricey for what you get, but they'll get the job done. When I had them, I was paying about $100 a month. That was for 50 megabytes per second download. I don't remember what the upload speed was. They're not a fiber network, but overall, not a terrible option. Just a little pricey for me. And then recently is the newcomer to the game, and that's Metronet. Metronet just recently took over the Quad Cities. They put in a fiber network, which is the first fiber network here in Davenport, and they came in at pretty reasonable prices. I went from paying $100 a month for about 50 megabits per second to paying about $60 per month for 200 megabits per second upload and download. Now that price has increased a little bit. I've had them for about 2 years now, but now I think I'm only about 80 bucks per month, but still faster speeds. And I really like them as a company. They're very responsive. They hardly ever have any outages. So a great option. And it's not too bad as far as that cost of living goes. Now I answer these types of questions all the time for clients coming to me from other areas. So if you have any of those questions, the number is popping up down below. But if you just want to learn it from a video, well, check out this video because I do cover more detail about what it's like living here in Davenport, Iowa.